Hi, I wanted to let y'all know about my year. It has been a really, really bad year, and it pretty much started with being put on oxycodone and morphine at the same time. And this was my pain doctor who was doing this, and he had me on so much medication that by mid-March I overdosed. Not only did I overdose, I had kidney failure. Now I've never had any kidney problems to speak of, and the fact that happened, and I literally almost died. I mean, they told me that repeatedly in the hospital. I was in the ICU for 3 days, and miraculously I recovered pretty quickly. It was 3 days of of a lot of saline. After I was in the being in the hospital and coming home, everything tasted and smelled like the saline. It just permeated every cell of my body so badly. And so in March this happened. Uh, and it was an accidental drug overdose. I mean, it just amazes me because they used to be anti-medication of any kind, including aspirin. And I got pissed off the first time I had to have antibiotics, and it was just craziness. And the thing is I almost died because this doctor was greedy. That's what it comes down to. That's what the doctor in the hospital told me. I'm paying to look at me. Anyway, but it just, it was just, I don't have words to explain it. I don't have adequate words to explain what it felt like. Because I was betrayed by my doctor, is what it comes down to. My doctor betrayed me for his own greed. He kept me doped up and having to come to him every month, and he was doing treatments on me. Some helped, some didn't. Some made things worse. And and he was just a monster, is what it comes down to. And he almost killed me. And when I had to go back to see him after I'd been in the hospital, and he punished me because it was obvious from the paperwork and everything that happened that it was his fault. At the hospital, they knew it was his fault. You know what I'm saying? And I mean, no one ever blamed me, and it really wasn't my fault because I wasn't even taking as much as he was telling me to take. That's what's so crazy. I can't. I would probably be dead if I'd been taking what he told me to take. But uh, it just it was insanity. You're supposed to trust your doctors, and this man nearly killed me because of his greed, and that just was insane. And I did fire him, but anyway, the way he punished me was he one cut my pain medication to the point that it was almost useless. Two, berated me, and three, he filed everything under the wrong diagnostic thing so that Medicaid wouldn't cover it. I mean, he essentially lied, is what he did, and tried to punish me. But I did fire him, and I went and found a new doc who was an awesome pain doc, and he took me out. I was supposed to come off the morphine no matter what, and the oxycodone I was allowed to stay on, but I didn't like what it made me feel. It made me feel kind of loopy and just out of it, and I would sleep all the time, and I was listless and lethargic and all kinds of other words. And uh, excuse me. And I talked to this doctor, the new doctor. I mean, I was like in tears. I was begging him to take me back down to Vicodin, which Vicodin I can take. It makes me hyper and active, and it eases my pain just as well as oxycodone did. All the oxycodone did was make me useless and make me stoned. As so did the morphine. And I don't like that feeling. I've never liked that feeling. And I feel like I'm not in control, not in control of my own body or my own mind. And it kind of made me feel like I was losing my mind. But he took me back down to the Vicodin, and it, I came out of a fog. I'd been in a fog for 3 years. It started with my mother dying, and um, that was uh, a little over 3 years ago. And I kind of went into this mental state. I was just in shock and just so angry because of the circumstances under which she died. And my psychiatrist put me on Klonopin, and that started the fog. And I was kept on Klonopin for a while, and then my doctor switched me to Valium, and then the morphine and the oxycodone got added. In between there, I was put on fentanyl patches, and I have all these Schedule 2 narcotics in my body, Anyway, but my primary doctor was handling my pain, and then it just got to the point where it was going beyond what the scope of his practice. So he referred me to a pain doctor, but he didn't know anything about this doctor personally. So I mean, I don't blame my primary. My primary is an awesome doctor, and he's been my doctor for like 10 years now. So, but the thing is uh, the new doctor is cool in the way that he prescribed the Vicodin and gabapentin for the nerve stuff, which the nerve stuff is just crazy. If I don't have gabapentin in the morning when I wake, if I don't have gabapentin in my system, if I've run out of it for some reason, when I wake up in the morning, I'll wake up and there's like a beat, and then the nerves wake up and I start screaming. I have woken up screaming more times than I even care to count. Okay, but uh, he put me on that, but he also prescribed things like movies, video games, music, reading, me doing my writing, all those things as part of my pain management, which I thought was awesome, and it works. It works way better than the stupid treatments that the other doctor had been doing on my back, and some of which were extremely painful and did more damage than good. And so okay, that happened. And then, I recovered and was released from the hospital straight out of ICU after it was less than 2 days, like 2.5 days. And when I went in there, I was almost dead. And they were surprised. They thought I would have to have dialysis afterwards and all this stuff, but my kidneys tested out fine within 2.5 days. And that was awesome. So, I mean, I've come from good stock. We're just like, troopers that just, you know, could just anything when we get ill, as long as we get medical treatment, we kick its ass. So there's that. And then, I mean, I was pretty sucked pretty dry over those 3 years between the medications and grief, and I lost 3 years of my life. And I stopped taking care of myself. I stopped taking care of my teeth and my skin and my house, and I was just in a fog. I don't know where those 3 years went. I feel like I've woken from a coma. And this fucking narcotics are just fucked, is what they are. So, there's that. In May, simple little thing, I got a spider bite right here. And I'm allergic to spider bites. It doesn't matter if they're dangerous or not. They still carry a form of venom, and that venom always causes a really severe reaction out of me. And being right here, it was extremely sensitive skin. It's very thin. And it itched, and I scratched it, and it opened up. And the thing is it would heal, and then it would itch again, and I'd scratch it, and it would open up. And so I spent most of the summer with dealing with this spider bite. And last month, I started noticing that my face was puffed up real bad on its side, and that it was not right. Something was just not right. And I have had bacterial infections before. I had it in my leg that made that huge hole. I've had a couple others, and I don't have the greatest immune system, and it doesn't help that I've had bone surgeries either, because that weakens your immune system for whatever reason. That's what I'm told. When I go to the dentist, they have to treat me like a heart patient. You know, but uh, so it kept itching here and back. And I kept having this thing, and then it got yucky, and I ended up going to the ER because I had thought about going to the doctor, but I thought I could wait till after the weekend. And that was on a Friday, and by 10 o'clock that night, it gotten so inflamed and red and puffy. I was like, no, 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 no. I'm not having the same thing happen to my eye that happened to my leg. Or my face? Could you imagine a hole being eaten in your face by bacteria and having to live with that and then live with the scar? I mean, the scar on my leg is bad enough. It's really horrendous. But I I went to the hospital and I had a bacterial infection in my eye and in my face, like all up in here. It was like, like a Phantom of the Opera of infection. So there's that. Then they put me on a antibiotic called Bactrim. I've had Bactrim several times in my life, being that I've had bacterial infections. And I don't know why. I'm just prone to those. I'm not a carrier of it. They've tested me. Somehow I come in contact with it, and I'm like a clean freak. And that's about like washing my hands and all this stuff and what I touch and all those things. And yeah, I'm just real subconscious about that, and I still get these freaking infections. I'm like, give me a break. But I I took the medication that I'd had before and broke out in hives on every inch of my body. Oh my gosh. And then, of course, I scratched the hives. You're not supposed to, but okay, let's be real. If you're itching, you're going to scratch. And I opened up all these wounds all over my body. I mean, everywhere with this. So when I left the house in the summer heat, I would sweat a little bit and it would burn. Uh, anyway, so that brings me to currently, those have healed. The eye still itches a little. My face is still a little like wobbly jawed from it. Is that wobbly jawed? I hope it's not like a really insulting thingy. I don't know what that actually means other than things being like askew. Anyway, I don't mean any insult to anybody if it's an insult, but it just sounds like it might be racial, and I've never thought about it until this minute. You're watching me process that thought. Anyway, um, so what's going on now is because I didn't take care of myself, and because of medications I take, which has been a problem for the past 10 years, um, that cause my teeth to get cavities really easy. I'm going through hell with my teeth. I have to go for like 8 fillings. I had to reschedule it because I was sick the day that I was supposed to go, and I got to reschedule it. Especially since this morning a piece broke off of one of my teeth. I love my teeth. My teeth were naturally almost perfectly straight. The tops were perfectly straight. The bottoms had like one crooked tooth. And I always get compliments on my smile. And now it's just fucked. I got compliments on my eyes, and they've gone kind of weird. They're not the same blue they used to be. And that started when I was taking out all this freaking narcotics. And and my hair, I got compliments on my hair, which is going gray in areas, and that just sucks. I'm only 44, and I'm not down with the gray hair. Anyway, I may be a little vain, but I'm sorry, I'm a redhead. That's just what I am. I'm a redhead, and I identify myself as such. Anyway, so this year has essentially been a saga for me, and my fibro is just screaming like a banshee, and I can't get anything done anymore because I'm just in pain all the time. The fibromyalgia has advanced so badly. If you look it up, I literally have everything you can have when you have fibromyalgia. And most people don't have it all. That's the thing is, it's a long laundry list of shit that's wrong with you. And, it's all part of it. And I have it all. It's like every bit of it. You know, I can't get a break. So I have this going on with me, and it's just frustrating because I almost feel like I shouldn't be alive. You know what I'm saying? I feel like that I don't I don't want to say that I'm not suicidal. Don't get me wrong. I'm not suicidal. It's not about that. It's about just it hurts to live because I am always in pain. And that's the only way I know how to explain it. But I'm not suicidal. I don't want to hurt myself or kill myself. I I just want the pain to stop. I want them to find something that will help and work and make me better. Because I take gabapentin, which is the substitute Medicaid allows for Lyrica. Lyrica works way better, and but Medicaid stopped paying for it and made it to where I had to have gabapentin, and it just pisses me off because they won't let me have the medication that's most effective, but because it costs more, and and I hate that I have Medicaid. I feel like a burden and a mooch because I have a burden on my aunt. She just does so much for me financially and physically. And she's 70 years old. She broke her hip in December, and she's just up and going. Like I said, the stock I'm bred from, we're just really really strong and bounce back real quick. So it's hard. It's really really hard. Every day is a struggle, and I feel like my life is wasted because of this disease. I can't do things that other people do. I want to go out into nature, explore, and find animals. Maybe not touch them because they'd probably run away from me or bite me. But just get close to them and talk to them. I mean, I do it when I walk down the sidewalk to the parking lot. If I see a squirrel or a bird, I'll talk to it. I don't know what I'm a Snow White, with little birdies flying around and all that stuff. Anyway, I was like that with dogs in the place I used to live. Everybody's dog would follow me to the mailbox, but then again, I had dog biscuits for my own two dogs, so and I shared. I was a good neighbor, but I would walk down the road and I would have like 7 dogs around me at one point, but never any less than 3 or 4. 2 of them mine, and then one of them got murdered, and then I had the one. But no, all his little buddies, because everybody let their dogs run around, Anyway, and I would feel like I was the dog whisperer or something. Just all the dogs followed me. But back to the subject I hate. I don't understand why this has been given to me. It's been 22 years now. I'm 44, and my 20s and my 30s were completely useless, wasted, because of a disease that has no cure, a disease they don't understand, and I don't understand why they don't understand it. And I can imagine that the suicide rate among people with fibromyalgia is pretty high, because I know that I struggle with it. Keeping the will to survive, the will to live. You know, um, right the Saturday after I got out of the hospital in March, I was in my kitchen and suddenly had a hypoglycemic episode. And I literally was standing there trying to fix food, feeling okay, and then boom, I was on the floor. I was so weakened because of the kidney failure and the drug overdose. And I had gotten out on Thursday, and this was the Saturday after that. And I was on the floor trying to pass out and fighting it, and I kept going out and coming back. And I wanted to give in to that so much. It was the most peaceful, restful feeling that I felt. But the thing is, if I had done that, I could have died. So I fought, and I crawled to the fridge and got a Capri Sun of all things that I happened to have in there, and drank it. And it gave me enough to get up and get off the floor and get some food. I was cut up from the fall and having to crawl around on the hard floor. Thank you, apartment management, for taking the carpet out, you assholes. And the floor's slippery too, to boot. I don't know what the hell they were thinking. And it's like Poop brown. I hate browns and beiges and all those neutral tones. I like color. I mean, I could have handled like beige carpet. It's not a big deal, but brown. Ugh. You're killing me, people. And you painted the walls like this beige color, and it literally makes me depressed. And they made all the light fixtures low wattage and energy efficient, so it's always dark and dingy. And I walk out of the house thinking my clothes match, and then I find out they don't when I get out away from my home. I look like a 2-year old that dressed herself. But okay, let's get off that subject because this is about to piss me off. Every time I start talking about the renovations they did to the apartment, I get so pissed off because it was fine the way it was, and they replaced all the cabinetry and stuff with cheap versions, and the versions that were there before were good, and nothing wrong with them. And I've already they completed the renovations in February, and right now it's August, and I've already had the front of a drawer break and come off because it's so cheap. It's particle board, and I had like real wood before. I don't know what the fuck they were thinking about. Stupid, stupid, stupid. Ugh, they ruined so much in this apartment. It's not even funny. Anyway, they made it more dangerous for me, no doubt. Anyway, makes me want to just go and start slapping people. Animals I get, humans I don't. Humanity, the human condition is just sad, and people are just sad and pitiful and conniving, and people aren't that nice. Animals, you get what's on face value with them. You know what I mean? People, you always have to be trying to analyze things and if they're being truthful or honest or you know what I'm saying? You just can't trust them. So I guess it's good that I'm single, live alone. So sometimes I do get kind of lonely. I do miss having someone around to talk to and do things and go places with and do things with and sleep next to. I don't miss my ex. That I miss all those uh, um, things that come with being part of a couple. And I pretty much resolved that I'm not going to be a part of a couple again in my life. I have too much baggage with my health and not being able to work, and plus I'm stubborn. I'm stubborn, fiery redhead, and I have no filter, and I say whatever I'm thinking, and it's hard for people to swallow. I am a hard pill to swallow. That's what it comes down to. A hard pill to swallow. It's okay. I'm being true to myself now. I used to try to assimilate. The truth is, I'm weird. I'm just a weird person. I mean, not like creepy weird or dangerous weird, just goofy weird. I've been told that I'm weird so much in my life. It's almost like it's like Stepford people. They say it's always the same thing. You're weird, beat, 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 but in a good way. An exact sentence. It's like it's programmed. There's Heather. She's weird in a good way. But it's okay. I own being weird. I'm glad I'm unique and different. I mean, I bring something different to friendships and relationships and all that stuff. And if something else, I'm entertaining for my silliness. I'm just plumb goofy. Sometimes I talk a lot. I talk too much. I just am like LOL all the time. And like I said, I say what I'm thinking when I'm thinking it. It doesn't matter if it's something that maybe you can't handle because I'm going to say it anyway. There's no filter between my brain and my mouth. None at all. Not anything. I have no boundaries. Okay. So, I'm just going to sum it up. I've rambled about my year from hell. And thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. Thanks for um, being alive. Um, hmm. Okay, I think I'm done now. Okay, I've got to stop now.